Okay, so we'll discuss from question number 11. So question number 11. Evaluate the given limit x approaches 1, ax square plus bx plus c upon cx square plus bx plus a. The variables a plus b plus c are not equal to 0. Okay, so we are going to evaluate this. First they said the limit x approaches 1. So we'll do the basic substitution first. You just have to replace x as 1. So it will become a into 1 square plus b into 1. C will be the same. In the denominator, it is c into 1 square plus b into 1 plus a. If you simplify this, you will be getting a plus b plus c upon a plus b plus c. If you cancel the numerator and the denominator, you will be getting the result as 1. That's it. Please note it down. If you are getting the result, like after the substitution, if you are obtaining some integer value, if you're not getting 0, means you can stop till here. Like you don't have to proceed afterwards. This is your final solution.
Done, ma'am.
All right. Evaluate the given limit. So here limit x approaches to 1 plus 1 by x plus 1 by 2 whole divided by x plus 2. All right. So we are going to substitute x as minus 2 now. First we are going to substitute x as minus 2 and let's see. So it's 1 upon minus 2 plus 1 upon 2 divided by minus 2 plus 2. See, you can add the numerator directly, right? Because the denominator contains same value. So that will become 0. Minus 1 by 2 and plus 1 by 2 will be 0. And in the denominator you do have minus 2 and plus 2, which results you 0. So this function is in the form of 0 upon 0. So we have to proceed further. So we are going to simplify this. How can we simplify this? The very simple thing is, here you do have two different denominator. Whenever you have two different denominator, you have to go for LCM process, the least common multiple. So in LCM, what do? 1 plus x, 1 by x plus 1 by 2. We have to multiply both the denominator and you have to do the cross multiplication between these, and that you have to specify it in the numerator. So it's going to be 1 into 2 plus 1 into x upon 2 into x. So it will be 2 plus x upon 2x. So that will be the simplification of the numerator. In the denominator, you do have an expression x plus 2. You just keep that x plus 2 as it is, right? And now, see, you can write a by b by a as 1 by b by cancelling out the a and a, right? So here you do have 2 plus x and here you do have 2 plus, x plus 2. Addition is commutative, so x plus 2 and 2 plus x are same. You can cancel them out. So you will be left with this 2x alone. So that is 1 by 2x. Understood here?
But ma'am, there's 2x remaining in the denominator.
Yeah, that is
Where
remaining.
does that go?
That you have
okay.
to, like, just keep that 1 by 2x as it is. That will be carry forward to the next step. Understood? Here I do have that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I understood.
All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the substitution and I'm going to check whether my denominator is going to be 0 or not. So if I substitute minus 2 in the x, I'll be getting 1 by 2 times of minus 2, which is minus 4. So it's minus 1 upon 4. So that is my result. Here, my result is not equal to 0. So I can stop after this. Please note it down. And before proceeding to the next step, after the substitution, you have to write this statement. This is important. The value of the given function takes the form of whatever form you are getting, that you have to write.
Done, ma'am.
All right. Question number 13. This is pretty simple. Evaluate the given limit x approaches 0 sin ax by bx. So here we will be using the identity, that is limit x approaches 0 sin x by x. Okay. So you can assume this as 1. According to this limit identity, limit x approaches 0 sin x upon x is 1. So here you do have sin ax upon bx, but this variable and the denominator variable, they are not same, they are different, right? So you have to make this variable equal. How can we do that? By multiplying and dividing by ax. Okay, so if I multiply this by ax and divide it by ax, I'll be having an expression like this. I'll do it here. So it is limit x approaches 0 sin ax upon bx. So this can be written as sin ax times 1 upon bx. So now I'm going to multiply this by ax and divide it by ax. Right? Now I'm going to switch its position, just swapping the position because multiplication is commutative. So it will become limit x approaches 0 sin ax into 1 by ax into ax by bx. So now I can cancel out the x in the numerator and the denominator. So it's going to be limit x approaches 0 sin ax into 1 by ax can be written as ax, and this can be written as a upon b. So now if I compare this with my limit identity, what is limit identity? It is limit x approaches 0 sin x upon x can be written as 1, which means after sine, this theta and this should be same. Here also I do have ax, and in the denominator also I do have ax. Both are same. So now I can assume this whole part as 1 according to this identity. So it will become 1 into a upon b, which is a by b. So that will be my final result. Is it clear?
Ma'am, why aren't we canceling AX and AX in the second last step?
We are not cancelling ax and ax. Here you do have ax and here you do have bx. I'm cancelling out the x alone.
Oh, okay.
Whenever, see, when you have like similar variable, you can cancel out. Like imagine you do have like x square upon x. You can simplify this expression into x, right? So if you are having x upon x, you can cancel. You are allowed to cancel. In case if your expression is like a plus x upon b plus x, then you are not allowed to cancel. In case if you have subtraction, you are not allowed to perform the cancellation in the process of addition and subtraction. You should not cancel out. If you are having multiplication or division process, like here you're having x square upon x, which is division, you are allowed to make the cancellation. In case if you have division like this, you can simplify this into x. Understood?
Yeah, I understood.
Here I do have multiplication operation, so I am allowed to make the further substitution. I mean further simplification. And here you do have the value of x as 0, right? So people tend to do mistake like this, like they might put a into 0 upon b into 0, which is wrong. You have to simplify as much as possible. In the last step only you have to make the substitution. The substitution of x. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Please ask me if you don't understand, I'll explain again.
No, ma'am. I don't have any doubts.
All right,
Done.
that's great. Are you done noting it down? Shall I erase it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So this is also based on the question number 13 only. You will be using the same kind of limit identity, that is sin x upon x equal to 1. Okay, let's see. So limit x approaches 0, sin ax upon sin bx, whereas a and b are not equal to 0. So in the first step, they just splitted the numerator and the denominator. Like if you have like a by b, you are allowed to write this as a into 1 by b, right? So in that way, they wrote sin ax upon sin bx as sin ax and 1 by sin bx. And you can apply distributive to the limits. So that is why this limit x approaches 0 is distributed into sin ax and sin bx as well. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to multiply this and divide it by ax. Okay. So if I multiply this and divide it by ax, I think you can see here, I'm multiplying here and I'm dividing here. I'm dividing ax with this sin x so that I can use this identity. The sin x upon x equal to 1 identity. Okay. So now I can write this step as 1. Understood? And this stays
Yes,
the
ma'am. Yeah.
same. This stays the same. We're not doing any changes in that. This stays the same. Now, so 1 into limit x approaches 0 ax upon sin bx will be the same. We're just multiplying it by 1. And again, we are going to multiply it and divide it by bx now. Okay. So now I will be rewriting this as, I will be swapping its position. So it will become limit x approaches 0 bx upon sin bx, I mean sin bx times ax upon bx. So here I have multiplied it and divided by bx, and I'm swapping the position of the ax and bx. Are you able to follow?
Ma'am, why are we multiplying and dividing it again?
Yeah, then only you'll be able to use this limit property.
Oh,
We
okay.
are trying to simplify as much as possible. Yeah? You're with me, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right. So now what I can do, I can simplify this ax upon bx as a by b. I can cancel out the similar terms. So it will be limit x approaches 0 bx upon sin bx times a by b. I'm going to simplify this further. Okay. So now I think I have explained this step already. Like when you multiply two fractions, like in case if you're having a by b times c by d, I'll just put it now, put it in some number and explain. Like in case if you're having 1 by 2 and 3 by 4, for the simplification, you just write the first fraction as it is, change the multiplication operation into division operation, and you will reciprocate the second fraction. the denominator will turn into numerator and the numerator will become denominator. Do you remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
This applies vice versa. From the 1 by 2 divided by 4 by 3 can be written as 1 by 2 times 3 by 4. It is vice versa. Okay. So here we do have this step. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a by b as it is. I'm assuming the a by b as the first fraction, and I'm changing the multiplication operation into division operation. So now I am allowed to switch the numerator to the denominator and the denominator to the numerator. I'm just going to switch its position. So sin bx will go to the numerator and the bx will become the denominator. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now by using the limit property, limit identity, I can assume this thing as 1 using this, right? So it's a upon b divided by 1. So a by b divided by 1 will give you the same result. It's a by b. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I understood.
That's it. Do you want me to show the answer for noting it down?
Ma'am, the answer's 1 only, right?
The answer
So
is
A
a
by B.
upon b. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because it seems like I'm not giving you time to write. Don't, write it hurry-burriedly. You ask me if you want to, write it. Or else you can take a screenshot also if you want. Or else I'll send you the link after the session. That will be more better. I'll send you the link. All right. Question number 15. Given the limit, evaluate the given limit. Limit x approaches pi, sine pi minus x upon pi into pi minus x. And what do you mean by pi in radian, Redall? What is the value of pi? I mean in degree. Pi itself a radian. What is the value of pi in degree?
Is it 180?
It is. Good. So limit x approaches pi, sine pi minus x upon pi into pi minus x. Now, for the simplification, I'm assuming this expression pi minus x as the variable. You can assume any variable. I'm going to assume this expression as the variable y now to make it simple. Okay. So let y as pi minus x. Let y as pi minus x. Now I'm going to rewrite my question, which is in the form of x into y. I'm going to rewrite the question in the form of y now. Okay. So limit x approaches pi. I have to make changes from here itself. So what is x then? So x will be x approaches. Yeah. So minus x is equal to y minus pi. So x will be y minus pi. Pi minus y. I think I'm confusing you. Just a second. So y is pi minus x, right? You need to find the value of x. So for finding the value of x, just keep the x alone and take the pi to the left hand side. It will become y minus pi and multiply it by minus both the sides. This will turn into pi minus y. So this is x. So you can write it like pi minus y approaches pi. I have substituted the value of x here. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah.
So now what I have told you, I have to write the x in terms of y. Okay. So I need y over there. I have to make this pi minus y expression as y. How can I do that? I have to subtract pi both the sides. I have to subtract pi both the sides. If I do that, I'm subtracting pi both the sides. This minus pi and plus pi will cancel out each other and I will be having minus y. And this pi and minus pi will cancel out each other and that will become 0. And if I multiply both the side by 0, I will be having pi approaches 0. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. But ma'am, it's negative. So even if it's
Yeah, like
positive.
minus y approaches 0, like 0 is neutral. 0 is not neither positive nor negative, right? So you can write y as 0.
Okay, ma'am. And then, ma'am, I wrote it.
All right. So here I can substitute the limit y as 0 and sine pi minus x, which is sine y. And in the denominator you do have pi. Write the pi as pi itself. And the expression pi minus x will turn into y. So now I can rewrite this as limit y approaches 0. Take this pi outside of the limit because that is constant. It's 1 by pi, limit y approaches 0, sine y upon y. Just a second, Radha. So 1 upon pi, limit y approaches 0, sine y by sine. Oh my God. Sorry for the disturbance. So sine y by y can be written as 1 according to the property of limit. So it's 1 by pi into 1. So the answer is 1 by pi. Understood it all?
Ma'am, we don't have to substitute x over here, right? Since there's pi.
I mean, can you ask your question again?
Ma'am, in the question it says x approaches pi, so we
Yeah.
don't have to substitute pi with x.
No, dear, that's what I've told you initially. We are converting the x term, the whole x term into y term.
Oh, okay, okay.
That is why I've showed you the substitution process in the beginning. Do you want me to do this
Yes, ma'am.
question again? I can do it.
No, ma'am, I understood. It's fine.
Okay. Please note it down. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes, I'm done.
Radha, can you solve this question? Can you evaluate this? You just try.
Okay.
You just try. If you're not getting it, I'll help you out.
Ma'am, is it 1?
Yes, Radal, it is 1. And how did you say that?
Is it because of the formula, that
Yeah,
sign?
yeah, that limit
Yes.
identity. It is. We are in the question 15. Okay, question number. It's advertisements. Okay. Question number. So evaluate the limit x approaches 0 cos x upon pi minus x. First, you just have to make the normal substitution. If you substitute, you'll be getting cos 0 upon pi minus 0. And you know the value of cos 0 already, right? Cos 0 degree is 1. So substitute cos 0 as 1 and write the pi in the denominator as it is. So the result is 1 upon pi. That's it. Understood?
Yes, ma'am, yeah.
Okay. Can you create a question by your own like this? Like change cos into some other trigonometric like secant or cosecant or tan something and change this radian also into like 3 pi by 2 or 1 by 4 whatever according to your uh, it's your wish. You just create your own question.
Ma'am, I made a question and I found the answer. I don't know.
Okay, can you tell your question?
Limit x by 2 approaches 30 and
30.
sine,
All
yeah,
right. Fine then.
sine x by 2 divided by pi minus x by 2.
Okay. Okay, so how did you solve this?
I substituted x by 2 and 30, so sine by 30, sorry, sine 30 divided by pi minus 30. So 1 by 2 divided by pi minus 1 by 2.
I'm not getting from where you're getting that 1 by 2, dear.
Isn't sine 30 1 by 2?
All right, like 30 degree, fine, fine, fine,
Yeah.
fine. But here you do have only 30 degree, right? You can't change this. It is not in the form of trigonometry. So it will remain pi minus 30 degree. One thing you can do, you can convert this degree into radian, pi by 6. That will be appropriate, like 1 upon 2 upon pi minus pi by 6. 180 degree by 6 is 30 degree, right? You're getting it?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Good. It's a very good attempt. And you can simplify this further if you want, or else you can leave it like this. Shall we move to the next question?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
How many questions? Oh my god, we do have 32 questions. I think this requires one more class to complete this exercise, I guess. Alright, this is interesting. So evaluate the given limit. Limit x approaches 0, cos 2x minus 1 upon cos x minus 1. So here it is cos 2x. Cos 2x means cos 2 theta. The theta is doubled, right? There is an identity in the trigonometry, that is you can rewrite cos 2x as 1 minus 2 sine square theta. I mean 1 minus 2 sine square x. Please note it down.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay, so that is the first step. Here they just wrote the cos 2x as 1 minus 2 sine square x, right? And after that they just removed the bracket sign. So now you can cancel out this positive 1 and negative 1. So you'll be left with minus 2 sine square x in the numerator. And in the denominator, cos x minus 1 stays the same. Okay. And you know this familiar identity, sine square x plus cos square x is 1. So you can rewrite sine square x as 1 minus cos square x, right? I'm rewriting
Yes, ma'am.
sine square x in terms of cos square x for the simplification, because in the denominator I do have cos x term. I'm just doing like trial and error. I'm just checking if I convert the sin x in terms of cos x, whether I'll be able to cancel out the cos x terms or not. So they have changed the sine square x into 1 minus cos square x. And the next step is also very obvious. 1 minus cos square x can be written as 1 square minus cos square x, which is in the form of a square minus b square. And that can be written as a plus b into a minus b, which is 1 plus cos x times 1 minus cos x. Understood here?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So it's minus 2 times 1 minus cos x into 1 plus cos x upon cos x minus 1. And I'm going to rewrite what cos x minus 1 as minus of 1 minus cos x for the cancellation, for the simplification. Is it clear?
Ma'am, what are you writing as minus 1?
I'm writing here, you do have cos x minus 1, right? I'm just
Yeah.
taking the minus out. If I took the minus out, it will become minus cos x and plus 1. So this can be written as minus of 1 minus cos x.
Oh, okay.
Understood? So it will be minus of 1 minus cos x. Right? So that is for the cancellation of this term and this term. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So this minus and this minus also can be cancelled out, and you will be having limit x approaches 0, and 2 times of 1 plus cos x, right? So now you take the 2 inside. It will become 2 plus 2 cos x. So that will be 2 plus 2 cos 0. Finally, we are substituting the value of x as 0. So this will be 2 plus 2, and what is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1, right? So 2 plus 2, which is 4. So it is a positive integer. You can stop here. So 4 is the solution. Is it clear, dear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, so here we have used only two trigonometric identities. Remember, the first one is cos 2x. I've written cos 2x as 1 minus 2 sine square x, and sine square can be written as 1 minus cos square x. So these two identities. So we are in the question number 17. It's question 18. This is also pretty simple, but it is little time consuming. But the same technique, what and all we have learnt so far. So evaluate the given limit x approaches 0, ax plus x cos x upon b sin x. I think we have solved this question previously. When we were discussing the questions from the R.S. Agarwal, we have discussed this question. All right. So now I'm gonna simplify the expression in the numerator. You do have ax plus x cos x. Okay. I'm going to take the variable x as common from the numerator. So it will be limit x approaches 0, x times a plus cos x. And you have b sin x in the denominator. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to split this. Like imagine you do have a b by like c d. This can be written as a by c times b by d, or else a by d times b by c. Can I do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to write x times of a plus cos x upon b sin x as limit x approaches 0, x by sin x into a plus cos x by b, just for the simplification. Okay. So now I am going to distribute this limit x approaches 0 to this term as well as this term, because this term contains x here. So you have to make the distribution. So now you will be writing it as limit x approaches 0, x upon sin x times limit x approaches 0, a plus cos x upon b. Is it clear, dear?
Yeah, no, ma'am, can't we just directly substitute 0 over here?
You can't, because like you have to use the limit property. You do have the limit property, that is limit x approaches 0 sin x upon x. You can notice x sin x here, right?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So it is compulsory to use the limit property in the simplification before evaluating. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, understood.
So I am distributing this limit x approaches 0 for these two expressions. So now what I can do, I have told you this, just writing the multiplication into division and changing the second fraction position, just like swapping the numerator into the denominator thing. So that I'm going to do now. So I'm going to assume this as my first fraction. So I'll write limit x approaches 0, a plus cos x upon b. It is commutative, so order doesn't bother the multiplication. So you can assume this as your first fraction and change this multiplication into division and write that limit x approaches 0, and you do have x in the numerator and sin x in the denominator. Since I have transformed the multiplication into division, I am allowed to switch sin x to the numerator and x to the denominator. And now I can use the limit property. I can write this as 1. So its limit x approaches 0, a cos x, a plus cos x upon b. Understood, dear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So now it's going to be like limit x approaches 0. So a plus cos x upon b. So you are going to substitute the value of x as 0 now. It's going to be a plus cos 0 upon b. You know the value of cos 0 degree already, which is nothing but 1 upon b. So it's a plus 1 by b. So here is our final results.
Yes, ma'am. Done. I wrote it.
This is pretty simple, dear. I think you can do this question by yourself. Limit x times secant x. By seeing the question itself, by seeing the steps, you will be able to understand. Go through it.
Yes, ma'am. I understood.
Understood? All right. Can you create a question like this by your own?
Okay, ma'am.
You can change the degree of this x. You can include some cubic equation or any polynomial equation. You change into some expression or an equation and change this trigonometric secant theta into some other trigonometric theta and try.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Just a second. Yes, dear. Tell me your question.
Ma'am, the question that I made is limit x approaches 0,
Okay.
x into cosecant square x.
Okay. So how did you solve?
The same way, it's x into 1 by sine square x is equal to x by sine square x. Then it'll be substituting x, it'll be 0 divided by sine square 0.
Okay.
Sine
Okay.
square
It would
0
be
is
better. It would be better. Sorry for the interruption. It would be better if you put x square here, dear. Right? Because you can split this into two expressions, like limit x approaches 0, x by sine x times x by sine x. Right? So it will be like limit x approaches 0 and x by sine x. So this multiplication can be written as division, and it will become sine x upon x, and you can distribute this limit into two expression. So that will become limit x approaches 0 and x by sine x divided by limit x approaches 0 sine x upon x. So this can be written as 1 according to the limit property. And here you do have limit x approaches 0, x divided by sine x. Only this thing you do have, right? And this can be changed into, like, you can multiply this and divide it by x. I think either way you'll be getting 0 only. Yes, you can't change this. You don't have to multiply it. You just simply substitute 0 now. It will become 0 upon sine 0, which is in the form of 0 by 0. So you'll be proceeding it further. Just a second. I think I am wrong. How can you change this? Yes, 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 yes. Actually, there is a simple trick behind this. See, you do have 1 here, right? So what you can do, you can write 1 is 1 by 1, dear. Right? 1 can be written
yeah.
as the integer 1 can be written as 1 by 1 in the fraction. Now what do? You write it as 1 by 1 itself, change this into division process, and now you can switch this fraction. So this will become numerator and that will become the denominator. So we'll be having limit x approaches 0. So again, according to that limit property, this will be 1, and 1 divided by 1 by 1 will be 1 only. So the final result is 1. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I
Okay.
understood.
This works better because you got 0 by 0. In case if you are getting 0 by 0 means again you have to think about the simplification process and you have to make changes. So this will be easy. In case if your trigonometric ratio contains the degree value as 2, and try to write this expression value also as 2, like try to keep this degree value as the same as that of your trigonometric degree. That will be convenient. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Done, ma'am. I wrote it.
All right. It's question 20. Yes. This is also a bit time consuming. Like, take this as homework. I'll send you the link anyway. Go through the step. If you're able to solve, you solve. Otherwise, we'll discuss this in the next class. Note it down. This is homework.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
All right. Question number 21. So its limit x approaches 0 cosecant x minus cot x. Brother, I forgot to ask you this. Like, did you get your class 10 results?
Ma'am, I didn't get, I'm in 10th grade now. I'm giving my board exam next year.
Next year. All right, all right. So, like, you will be having the semester pattern, right? Like this year they have changed it recently. Is it applicable to your
Yes.
board as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They split it and yeah.
So you can expect like more number of MCQ questions this semester, right?
Yeah, for the first term will be MCQ.
Okay, okay. Okay, like you can ask your doubts from the class 10 also. Okay, in case if you are finding any difficulties in your class 10 chapter, you can ask me that as well. And similarly, you can approach Vetri also for asking doubts in physics. Okay, you feel
Okay,
free to
ma'am.
ask us. Evaluate the given limit. So limit x approaches 0 cosecant x minus cot x. So actually, also you're too young to learn this. Very good. Very good that you're learning at this age itself. It's good. Cosecant x minus cot x. So cosecant x can be written as 1 by sin x and cot x can be written as cos x by sin x. Are you able to follow this?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do here, you do have same identity, right? Here also you do have sin x, here also you do have sin x. So you just keep one sin x is common. Just join the numerator, club it. So it will become 1 minus cos x upon sin x. So now they've said that the x is approaching 0. So you can write it as 1 minus cos 0 upon sin 0. So cos 0 can be written as 1 minus 1 upon sin 0. Sin 0 degree is 0. So you are substituting 0. So we are getting the 0 by 0 form, the the undefined form. Okay. So again, you have to simplify this further. So this is our question. We are simplifying it. Compoundando and dividendo. Have you ever heard about this?
Ma'am, it's something about switching. That's all I know.
Exactly. Like here, like you are multiplying and dividing it by 1 plus cos x and 1 plus cos x. And here you do have 1 minus cos x. Okay. So now I'm multiplying and dividing it by 1 plus cos x and 1 minus cos x. I mean 1 plus cos x. So if I multiply the 1 minus cos x and 1 plus cos x, I can written as 1 square minus cos square x, which is nothing but it is in the form of a minus b times a plus b, which can be written as a square minus b square. So here the value of a is 1 and the value of b is cos x. So this can be written as 1 square minus cos square x. Understood here?
Ma'am, it's because of that identity. Yeah.
It is because of the identity. Then only you'll be getting like 1 minus cos square x, which can be written as sin square x. You know this identity, right? Sin square x plus cos square x can be written as 1.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 minus cos square x can be written as sin square x. And in the denominator, you do have sin x times 1 plus cos x. So now I can easily simplify this, like in the denominator you do have sin x and the numerator also you do have sin x. Just cancel it out. So you will be having limit x approaches 0 sin x upon 1 plus cos x. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So now we'll go for the substitution and we'll see whether the denominator is some positive integer or we are obtaining 0 or not. So it will be sin 0 divided by 1 plus cos 0. So we know the value of cos 0, which is 1. I mean, yeah, that is 1. So you do have 1 already, write that as it is. And you do have sin 0 in the numerator, that will become 0. So it's going to be 0 upon 2, which is 0. So 0 is also an integer. So this you can write it. The only thing, you should not get the 0 only in the denominator. I mean, you should not get that 0 by 0 form. but obtaining the result as 0 is allowed.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes, I'm done.
Okay. I think we can, shall we stop here?
Yes, ma'am, yeah.
Okay. Okay then. Okay, dear. Then we'll see in the evening for physics.
Ma'am, we don't have class today, right?
I'm
Like
sorry, I keep
physics.
forgetting. That is on Friday, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. See you, dear. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.